Have you ever put on your favorite playlist, hoping it'll help you power through a big homework assignment, only to wonder, is this actually working? Well, you've come to the right place. We're about to dive into the science of music in concentration to build the ultimate study guide for your brain.
So let's just get right to it, the big question. Does music really help you focus, or is it just a fun distraction? The answer, you might have guessed, isn't a simple yes or no. But stick with me because by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to make music work for you, not against you. Okay, to really get this right, we need to understand what's actually going on inside our heads when we hit play. So let's start with the science behind the sound. Picture this. Think of music as your own personal focus bubble, right? If you're trying to study and there's traffic outside or a TV on in the other room, those random, unpredictable sounds can totally wreck your concentration. Music gives your brain a consistent sound to lock onto, acting like a shield that blocks everything else out and keeps you in the zone. But, and this is a big but, the type of task you're doing matters a lot. If you're doing something kind of repetitive, like organizing notes or flashcards, a good rhythmic beat can totally boost your energy and keep you going. But if you're trying to tackle a really difficult chapter in a textbook, a complex song can actually start a fight for your brain's attention, making the work feel even harder.
Now, you've probably heard of the Mozart effect. The whole idea that listening to classical music makes you smarter. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration. It's not going to magically boost your IQ, but there is something to it. Listening to complex, structured music like Mozart can temporarily get your brain into an ideal state for problem solving. It's kind of like warming up an engine before a big race.
Okay, so we've got the science down. How do we actually use it? Let's get practical. There are 3 simple, non-negotiable rules for using music to study. You master these, and you are going to be golden.
All right, rule number 1. This is the most important one of all, so I'm going to say it again. No lyrics. Not in another language, not whispered in the background, none. Seriously.
So why is that such a big deal? Well, it all comes down to something called language processing. Think of this part of your brain as a one-lane road, just for words. Only one car can go down that road at a time, either the words you're reading in your textbook or the words you're hearing in the song. Trying to do both just creates a massive bottleneck. And you can see exactly what happens right here. When you try to force those 2 streams of language into your brain, you get a mental traffic jam. Your reading comprehension just plummets because your brain is trying to switch back and forth, from the book to the song, and it just can't keep up. All right, so we've kicked the lyrics to the curb. What's next? Rule number 2 is all about finding the right tempo. The speed of the music, its beats per minute, directly affects your state of mind. And there's a magic number here. The sweet spot for study music is right between 60 to 80 beats per minute, or BPM. See, anything faster can make you feel kind of antsy or stressed, and anything slower might just put you to sleep. This range is the sweet spot for calm, sustained focus. And the reason this works so well is actually pretty cool. That 60 to 80 BPM tempo mimics the rhythm of a relaxed human heartbeat. It sends this subconscious signal to your brain that says, hey, everything's cool, we're calm, which allows you to stay alert and focused without feeling stressed out. It's a natural focus hack. And that brings us to our 3rd and final rule. This one seems obvious, but it's so easy to get wrong. Keep the volume low. The music needs to be in the background, not the main event. See, when music gets too loud, it stops being a tool and just becomes another distraction. It can actually cause physical stress in your body and even trigger a fight or flight response. That makes it way harder for your brain to absorb new information. And it's just not great for your hearing in the long run. All right, you've got the 3 golden rules. Now for the fun part. Let's put it all into practice and actually build the perfect study playlist step by step. So where do you even start looking for tracks? Well, these genres are a fantastic place to begin. Things like lo-fi hip-hop, classical, ambient music, and even movie scores are basically designed to create an atmosphere without screaming for your attention. They make the perfect sidekick for a study session. Ready for some pro tips? First, and you know this one, go instrumental. Second, try using songs you're already familiar with. A brand new song can be distracting because your brain wants to figure it out. Familiar tunes just fade into the background. Third, make sure the volume is consistent. And finally, make your playlist long enough so it doesn't just stop in the middle of your study session. We've covered the rules, we've covered the tools, but now we've got to talk about the single most important factor in all of this, and that's you. Because when it comes to focus, one size does not fit all.
Yeah, believe it or not, your own personality has a huge say in what works for you. Whether you study best with some background tunes or in complete and total silence really depends on how your unique brain is wired. For example, someone who's more of an extrovert might find total silence to be, well, kind of boring. They might actually need that stimulation from music to feel energized and focused. But an introvert? They might find that even the quietest music feels like an invasion of their thoughts, and they do their absolute best work in silence. And guess what? Neither way is wrong, they're just different. And that really brings us to the main point here. The whole goal is for you to figure out what you need to do your best work. That's what being an independent learner is all about. So experiment. Try out different kinds of music. Try out no music at all. See what feels right.
So, to wrap it all up, let's think of it as a formula. The biggest piece of the pie, 40%, is having no lyrics. 30% is getting that tempo right. 20% is keeping the volume low. But that last 10%, that's all about your personal preference. And that's the piece that makes it all click. At the end of the day, here's the biggest takeaway. Music isn't magic. It's not some secret potion that guarantees good grades. It's a tool. And just like any tool, learning how to use it the right way is a skill, a really powerful study skill that can make a huge difference. So now, the ball's in your court. You've got the science, you've got the rules, you've got the playbook. The only question left is, what are you going to put on your Ultimate Focus playlist? Give it a shot. You might just unlock your best study session ever.